Welcome back to Pagitt Radio on AM 950. Your morning conversation on Sundays, or Sunday mornings, aren't just for Bloody Marys anymore. Nope, your hopeful, optimistic, contrarian religious radio. Religious radio that's not quite right, but sometimes things are just right on. Our final segment of every week's programming includes a Right On segment. We'd love to have you call in with that. 952-946-6205 if you got some stories about things that are right in the world. Things that are the way they're supposed to be. Things that make us say, amen. Things that make us say, that a way, that a boy, that a girl. It's been a big week. A lot of things going on. People across the street had a baby. New Afghan policy. People falling in love. I wasn't liking her car drive. I was liking the struggle that it was for me to have to drive an extra 5 hours to delivering a baby. Every week, I try to come with not only a right on, but with a Cripes, a come on, and a you gotta be kidding me. Of which I know I can hear people. I can hear them already. I can see them. I can hear them. I can hear them shouting and raging. A come on, a Cripes, and a you gotta be kidding me about, Because here's the thing, frankly. A guy, a man, a male, you don't get to compare anything to having a baby. It's the one-upper. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't rise to the level. So I probably earned my own Cripes, come on, and you got to be kidding me on someone's blog somewhere. But here are mine for the day, Grover. I've got these, and I got to tell you, I got to tell you, a couple of them. One of them had me cracking up. Okay, the Cripes, the one that earned the Cripes for this week is this guilty verdict in Italy. You know about this? See, here it is. Looking at me. And I didn't know it either. The only reason I know about this is because when I was trapped up in that cabin for a couple of days, there wasn't a lot to do over the dinner hour, so I had to watch cable news television programming. And it was, cable. I think it was Dish or some satellite or something. But it was a limited selection of programming, and so I was watching CNN, and there's a story about this 21 or 22-year-old, 23-year-old gal in Italy, this American foreign exchange student who got caught up in in a murder of her roommate, and she was convicted for being a part of it. Okay, this story. Yeah, it's like a year ago, and they just convicted her on Thursday or Friday. Really big news all over the world. It was the front page story in cities in China. Enormous news all over Europe, and people around here don't even know about it. This poor girl. There's this murder going on in Italy, and this girl gets convicted. Ruining a perfectly good vacation country. I don't know if you've been to Italy, but I've been to Italy. Oh my gosh, I think about it like every day. You've been to Venice? How'd that happen? Before you were born, your mom carry you? A guy like you went to Venice. I just gotta say. Well, look at that. Look at that. You're a surprising little package out there, Grover. You are a surprising little fella. But, yeah, you got a lot going on. So anyway, the Cripes goes to this whole cluster mess going on over there in Italy. So if you followed that story, it's a nightmare. A woman's life is ruined. Who is convicted, and her boyfriend, a woman's dead, somebody else. There's just lying, scandaling. You know what the lesson to be learned is?
Unless it's for like 2 or 3 days on vacation to stay in the United States.
No,
Get lost in the hills in Iran, and now you're a spy. Go to Italy to do some learning, and you're a murderer.
The problem is I don't think she was doing much. I don't from the coverage, the news coverage. I don't think she was doing a lot of learning in Italy, if you know what I mean. Apparently, part of the problem with her that the people of Italy had was she was quite a party girl. That's part of the big problem on all this, and the prosecutor doesn't like her ways. She was a heavy marijuana user, big partier, all this kind of stuff. Didn't care for her. Didn't care for her ways. Didn't care for what she was getting after, and murder apparently. Junk food and TV. Sounds like my weekend at the cabin without the marijuana. It was writing. Okay, so that's the Cripes. This whole cluster mess going on in Italy. The come on. This one I picked up on my drive up there as well. I heard a little news program, and it just kind of did a story as if people would know that this goes on, that the United States Marines use dolphins and sea lions to protect certain waterways, to track down mines, and to leg cuff people who might be swimming toward underwater installations. They have trained the sea lion. No, I didn't know about this, mister. I didn't know about the murder in Italy. They've trained the sea lions to put leg cuffs on swimmers. Can you imagine if you're like they think a suicide swimmer is going to come under, they're going to swim up to one of these installations and they're going to, blow it up, right? And that's what they're afraid of. So, right, on a boat, and they're afraid that they're going to sneak up on this thing. So the Marines trained sea lions to carry little cuffs that can hook onto the legs of these swimmers. Can you imagine if you're like on a suicide swimming mission? I mean, like just a sea lion swimming up to you wouldn't be enough to just absolutely freak you out. But then somehow in his little, I hear you, but then somehow in his little flippers, he pulls out a leg cuff. Pulls out a leg cuff and cuffs you. I mean, talk about not being able to, ever, talk about not being able to save face amongst your other terrorist cohorts. When you get arrested and cuffed by a sea lion. So I looked this up on, Wikipedia to make sure it's true, and no kidding. I mean, type it in there. Type in the U.S. Marine. It's called the U.S. Navy Marine Mammal Program. In fact, there's a lot of people who don't think very highly of the program because they think that it treats the animals in ways that are very good. It sort of enlists them into this military activity. It's like a draft. They pick they pick the sea lions and the dolphins that come from the small town areas, and they recruit them in. So that's my come on. Come on. They're using sea lions and dolphins. I mean, this is like people living in the space station and not realizing, does everybody know that we can get a sea lion and a dolphin to arrest somebody underwater? That is fantastic. And you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me isn't a funny one at all. I don't know if you saw the story, but there was a fella who went all the way to the Supreme Court here in Minnesota on a case that he had pictures of a 12-year-old in nude photos of a 12-year-old on her phone. The Supreme Court said that doesn't constitute pornography. You got to be kidding me. If the statute in this state is that a man can carry around a picture of a naked 12-year-old child on his phone and it's not considered child pornography, we need to change the statute. That doesn't take a religious broadcaster like me to point that out. State legislators, and every state legislator I'm going to have on this show, and I'm going to have a number of them, I'm going to ask them if they'll get behind this. This is ridiculous. You got to be kidding me. Of course, pictures of naked 12-year-olds is inappropriate, wrong, and if that's not pornography, let's make it. Sometimes cripes that come on and you got to be kidding me should make us do something about it. Somebody should fix that problem, fix the statute. Doug Pagitt Radio, religious radio that's not quite right on AM 950, DougPagittRadio.com. We'll be back after the news break.